Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're talking lipsticks today. Specifically, we are talking about the Powder Kiss relaunch from MAC Cosmetics. I got this box January 22nd. If you are unaware, I am Canadian, and for the most part, when it comes to MAC PR, usually when Americans get their products, the Canadians will get it almost a month later. Like, Americans got it pretty much as soon as it was launched. And for Canada, we always get it quite a number of days later. So there's a good chance that you already own some of these lipsticks. When I received this box, I did not want to just instantly make my review. I do have quite a number of first impressions and just general arm swatches of these lip products, but I wanted to sit and stew with the formula on my lips in my life before coming on to YouTube and doing a full-length video about them. That's generally how I like to approach my video formats. This is my final thoughts and opinions. There are two types of formula, the liquid lipsticks and there are the bullet lipsticks. There are also the very long and skinny ones. Those ones are being discontinued and they're just going to be these two formats for now in the lipstick line. These products are rebranded / new formula. The liquid lipsticks are just a rebrand. They are rebranded to be the Lip and Cheek Mousse. On my face today as my blush, I am wearing It's Personal, the new shade. I have a whole short up on my channel dedicated to comparing the new formula versus the old formula. And the way I will quickly break it down in this intro is a recipe. The ingredients for the liquids are the exact same. However, what has changed, the percents of those ingredients. Much like how a cookie and a brownie use the exact same ingredients, but if you use them in different percentages, you either get a cookie or you get a brownie. That's exactly what has happened with the liquids. So if you do love one of the original liquids that have the silver, this is gold, that have the silver, go back to your MAC counter and re-swatch the shade that is your fan fave, whatever shade it may be, because the color is likely different. They have changed the coloring in the products for the liquids, but the actual product is the exact same ingredients. Word for word, verbatim, exactly the same. So in this video, I'm not going to be reviewing these because they're the same product. They're the same as they have been, the same as they ever were. They can enhance dry skin just like the old formula. Nothing within that has really changed, except for the fact that the marketing now says to use it as a blush, and I love these as a blush. So now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of these. I don't have anything on my lips. I left my lips very plain so that we can do this video together. So this is the standard lipstick size. This is just the sleek satin. This is just the clear in the clear. It is the standard lipstick size with the same amount of product on the inside, I do believe. I will put it on the screen when I double check in editing. The only difference is that the component, it's really hard to see on some people's videos, but this is that plastic shine, and this is a silicone exterior or some type of icone exterior. It is a completely different feel than their normal lipstick bullet. What was once silver is now a shiny black with gold MAC logo. Now, I don't know how I feel about this bullet change because in time, things that have this type of silicone, I don't want to say it's silicone in case of allergies. I assume it isn't a silicone because it is quite a common allergy that I don't think MAC would do a true silicone exterior. I'm sure it's a type of icone though. So just if you do have an allergy, approach with caution with these. And the problem with having a type of icone product is through time, it can get sticky if it's exposed to water and heat and just the environment around it. So I am critiquing the component, even though it's a very sexy, sleek black look. The longevity and how there are a lot of MAC collectors and stuff, I do question how this will hold up with time. And it's one of those things where time will only tell how this holds up. If you are a collector, maybe really do your best to keep these in a really temperature controlled environment and a very moisture free environment, which is hard because of your hands, you know? So just proceed with caution. It's the same type of topping as the old Powder Kiss liquid tubes. That feeling, if you have one of those, it's that all over the bullet. And for the actual formula, it's a very, I'm just gonna keep calling it an icone formula. There are multiple types of icone ingredients in this formula, so it's actually extremely slippery and glidey and movable type of formula. It's a very intriguing, I've never felt anything like it, and I know it's a very popular review that a lot of people say that because I think it's true. I think we are going to be seeing more of this type of formula. So if you don't necessarily love MAC Cosmetics, I would just hold out because I've been seeing more reviews come out for the new Merit lipstick, and formula wise, there's a lot of similarities between the Merit and these new MAC Hazy Mattes. So if you would prefer to buy through Merit, I would check it out. They're not the exact same formulas, obviously, but they do share a lot of the same ingredients. I'll put them on the screen as well as I'm talking about it. I never circled back to the formula discussion. So there was an original Powder Kiss Bullet lipstick that was released in early 2020, I think it was. On the screen here, you can see the two formula comparisons, and this is a night and day formula. I never tried the original Bullet Powder Kiss lipstick, but as you can see from the list of ingredients, this new one is extremely high tech. I think there must be a lot of new ingredients that provide the slipping and just the way that this lipstick feels. So if you were curious because you already owned the original Powder Kiss bullets, these new Hazy Mattes are completely different. Completely different. Take that as you will, either different in a good way or different in a bad way. I always recommend you go to a MAC counter to test out the products before you commit to them. But because it is a slippery application, I don't find that it slips off of the lips. Like, it's slippery in the sense of it can glide and it's very glidable, but it's not going to fall right off as you're wearing it. It's a very interesting formula, and I'm going to use a darker shade to highlight this. This is Chestnut, and I'm going to put Chestnut on my lips. Translucent formula. If you can see, the bullet of Chestnut looks completely different than how it looks on the lips. Don't judge these lipsticks by how it looks in the bullet in the product photography, because how it applies is very different. But you can build it up, and you can make it into a more opaque color. So the top lip was just one swipe and the bottom lip was like 2 to 3 swipes. I did a very messy job just because we're going to be taking these colors on and off my lips. I'm not doing lip swatches of these. I have my arm swatching video. I'm not going to be doing that at this time, but with the dark color, I just wanted to demonstrate that they can be built up. It doesn't really cause a longevity difference when you do build it up. Just don't go crazy with it. Don't be slathering on like 6 layers, because then it's gonna look really, really strange. But it only takes like a couple layers to build up to what is in the bullet. The actual application of these lipsticks, it feels very like luxurious to put them on because of that slip that it has. Personally, for me, I haven't liked it with lip liner. When you wear the lip liner, either before or after applying the lipstick, they just don't really mesh well. And I've tried it with the standard lip liner and I've tried it with the lip glazer that they came out with last year. And I just don't vibe with it in that sense. And I think it's because this formula merits itself more towards like the Asian lip style. I've done it in a few shorts. It's more for blurring. Let's go in with Sultriness. I hate this shade. It's like a flamingo on me. But if you just tap it out, like I find this is how the lipsticks like to be worn. Like it's a very in the name powder kiss hazy matte. It's meant to be this kind of like, I think I described them as like a watercolor effect. Like it's not meant to be a true matte lipstick in the way that we know for like every photo shoot ever on the cover of a magazine. So I think it's introducing a lipstick formula for a very different type of lip look. It does last through eating and drinking once it dries down. You do feel it dry, but not in the sense of a 2015 liquid lipstick. It's more like the moisture just leaves kind of thing. Here's my example with a straw. And then with the side of a cup. So it does last, which is really, really nice. One of the selling features, a moisturizing matte lipstick. And to that I say, as a eczema prone, dry skin prone girl, yes and no. To me, yes, it's a moisturizing matte lipstick, but it's not going to fix dry lips. So if you have dry lips and you put on one of these lipsticks, it's not a lip balm. It's not going to fix your dry lips. If your lips are balanced out, they're moisturized, they're exfoliated, and you put this on, your lip isn't going to dry out like a raisin in the way that traditional matte lipsticks kind of feel and do for the lips. I think that is the more accurate review for that claim that MAC puts out about these. So don't be fooled by that selling feature. This isn't going to fix your problem, but it's not going to make your problem worse. Okay. It does look pretty horrible on my dry lips when I do apply it. Right now my lips are pretty balanced except for my little patch that's growing down here. It does get a little clingy and just what dry skin does best. It just doesn't look the best when you put makeup over top of it. I've found that it also doesn't really accent my lip lines in the way that a matte lipstick does. As I'm sitting here talking, you can see if you just keep it in like that blurred out style, it like sinks into your lip line, your natural lip lines, but it doesn't really fall into the lip lines. If you've seen my review of these stupid things, these fall into your lip lines very, very quickly and they look awful. This will, depending on the color and the pigments, it will do that, but it doesn't, it's so strange. The silicone-y effect that these lipsticks have, it doesn't make it look bad when it gets to that point of wear. It's an incredibly, incredibly interesting concept, and I'm excited to see more brands come out with this type of icone-y formula. All that being said, it does work really well with a traditional lip gloss on top of it. It doesn't really split or get weird. It does do that if you use a more clean girl style of lip gloss. So these lip gloss airs, I have not found that they pair well with anything. I really don't like these. That's separate beef, but this is the type of formula that I'm talking about, where it's more of like a lip treatment. But for some reason in the makeup industry, we have now coincided treatment and gloss to mean the same thing, like a lip oil and a lip gloss are two different things, but where somehow there's been a bridge in between and they are not the same thing. You really want it to be a regular standard lip gloss that isn't heavy on the treatment and oils and nourishing aspect of the gloss, because those ones I find do not sit all day with the lip. And that being said, of course, if you add a gloss on top, it isn't going to last all day. Once you add the gloss to these lipsticks, they do become like a more regular lipstick and they will transfer and come off with time, because that's just what gloss does. If you've been finding this video helpful, you should probably give it a like. And if you've been finding me entertaining, you should probably subscribe so I can pop up in your feed more often. Okay, so once again, I'm going to take off this lip. Color-wise, I'm going to use a lipstick shade that I never really touch, which is an orange. These are supposed to be bar for bar it's the same name. So this is Forever Curious in the MACximal Matte formula. This is Stay Curious in the new Hazy Matte formula. So I don't really like Forever Curious, but for the sake of this video, it's all for you guys. There is the original Forever Curious, which is kind of like a pinky orange red. Like it's a pinky orange red, pinky orange red. This shade Stay Curious will be modeled after Forever Curious. Bullet wise, you can see they're definitely in the same pinky orange red category. I'm just throwing on the lips, you guys. I'm not going for perfectionism here. You can see in the lower lip, which is the Forever Curious matte formula, it has a shine to it. It isn't fully matte with this matte formula, but it has a lot of pigment, more pigment than the new Hazy Mattes. And the Hazy Matte comparatively is that watercolor effect that I was trying to describe earlier, where it is the Curious, but it's just like a wash. It's not like a traditional lipstick where it is very pigmented right away. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's almost more matte than the matte lipstick formula. And I think it is all of those icones that I was talking about in the formula that are making it look like that. If you really, really love a matte lipstick, I think you will like the matteness of the Hazy Mattes. But if you like the pigmentation that's in the standard lipstick, I don't think you will like it. It's like a weird, you have to pick one or the other. If you want a matte lip, get the Hazy Matte. If you want a pigmented lip, get the standard lip. There's no cross section there. I do think that these lipsticks overall will be kind of hard for me to reach for. I do wish that the PR box had some more better shades in it, because everything is very like orange or pink. There's not a lot of nudes in here, which I would have preferred, and I think for a wider variety of people would have been more appreciated to include. I would have wished to have 20 Fun. That one would have been really nice to have. I wish there was Taken in this, because I know that one was very, very popular in the liquid form. And I wish there was a non-orange red, like Ruby New would have been more fun. It looks a bit more pink than Ruby Woo, but it still would have been something that wasn't orange. It'd be hard for me to reach for some of these colors. I do think overall sorry, I had a sneeze attack. My eyes are watering. I had to redo my eyeliner. Okay. I do think overall there needs to be a shade extension, because everything on the website right now is very pink and orange and not a lot of nudes. They definitely need to extend into the nude zone and a lot more darker zone that isn't just pink. I don't know. Because of the way that it wears and feels on the lips, I do think that this will be a very popular going out kind of lipstick, just with how it lasts through eating and drinking. It doesn't last through like udon noodles, but it will last through like getting a steak and potatoes, right? If you're putting food into your mouth, it stays on your lips. If you're using your lips to eat like a burger or noodles, it won't last on your lips. If you don't want to reapply your lips, order something that's more inserting and not using. These are more expensive than the other lipsticks. I think in Canadian dollars, the standard lipsticks are $32 and the Hazy Mattes are $37. And I just don't think that they're worth the extra whatever, $4 or $5 in there. And yes, we're talking about $4 or $5, but when you're looking at the bigger price tag of a 33 versus 37, then with tax, you're paying more like a 47 and a 40. I think that is a big difference there for the lipsticks. I don't think they're worth that price tag, so I would definitely wait for like lipstick day or something when all the lip products go for like 30% off. I would wait for one of those if you have been curious about these. Overall, I would say that I definitely like the lipsticks. I just don't love them. It's not like last year when Folio and Acting Natural and all of those shades came out. That was like a mind-blowing experience. This is I like the formula. Like I can say I like them, but I can't say I'm obsessed with them. I don't think I am. And it's really hard to justify the price tag of them, even though it's like something I've never felt before, I've never experienced before. It works, it lasts all day. It's just not a lip that I'm into. And I think it's just because I'm not into having a matte lip. And that's where I'm just held back in my emotions for this release. That being said, if you love a matte lip, I think you'll have the complete opposite emotional reaction to this formula than I do. Shades of lipsticks always look different on different undertones and overtones because these are on the more expensive side to go in person and swatch the lipsticks at a MAC counter before you purchase them. That is everything from me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a like. If you liked me, consider subscribing so I can pop up in your feed more often. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Both are Claire Cuckoo as well. Everything I have on my face will be listed in the description box down below as always. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.